types of yew wood, incredibly strong and supple. The Lancastrian archers are retreating across the field, meeting more of their friends coming up from the left, and the Yorkist archers are marching out in pursuit of them, and both sides are already letting off volleys.
And of course, these men have been practicing since they were fairly small children. By law, men had to practice twice a week at the butts. They had to practice on a Wednesday or a Thursday, and then after Mass on the Sunday. So they knew exactly what they were doing with these longbows. And the longbow was the defining weapon of the period. And you have to imagine these men are multiplied up by maybe 1,000 people. You have to imagine the sky is full of whirring, humming death, and there's the mounted scout coming across now on that beautiful, beautiful dark roan horse.
Yes, the rider concerned is somebody who's been the main strength and sponsor for so much of our festivals for so many years. His usual horse, a wonderful grey called King, is unwell, so he's riding, as you can see, a beautiful black horse, which is not yet used to reenactors' battlefields, who are all a bit nervous for him. But the two, the horse and the man, are both combining beautifully, and he's representing a Lancastrian scout, bringing the warning that the Yorkists are approaching to his own army.
And of course, bear in mind that all of the reenactors taking part in this know exactly what they're doing. You can't explain to a horse that it's just a game. As far as the horse is concerned, all the artillery that are going to fire in a moment, all of the arrows whizzing past it, this is all real. So I think the horse yesterday acquitted itself absolutely beautifully, and hopefully today will do the same thing. So the archers still keeping up. They're lofting the arrows, they're not sniping, they are raining down death and hell from above.
The two most dangerous things you can do in reenactment are ride a horse and work an artillery piece. Falling off a horse is like coming off a motorbike. You're likely to break something. And as for the artillery, in the hands of experts they're totally safe, but you're using actual gunpowder. And if you're at a moment careless, you can lose a limb or simply get killed. If the cannon itself explodes, that's taking out 5 or 6 people at once. And there's also the problem of the gunpowder itself, that it is a powerful laxative. If you inhale it or get it in your tongue and swallow it. There's a saying in reenactment, isn't there?
There rather is, isn't there? We tend to share this line. Never ever go into a Portaloo after a gunner.
And you can see the Lancastrian army starting to approach, right by the crowd line on the right, led by the Earl of Devon, a young man wearing a superlative saffron-coloured plume in his helmet. Devon is passionately loyal, absolutely solid. He has no particular imagination of his own. What he is like a pillar of strength to the Lancastrian cause, out to avenge his ancestors, serve his queen, and his Devonian West countrymen are behind him. And following close on is Queen Margaret of Anjou herself, and marching beside her, her son, the 18-year-old Prince of Wales with the 3 ostrich plumes that are still the prince's device today, and her French bodyguard from Anjou behind her, who include real French people for us today, have come like the Belgians across the North Sea to join us. Long live the Queen! Vive la Reine! Anjou! Anjou!
Which one is it?
However, we do quite like it.
And God save the Prince of Wales, especially in this fleet.
Here we have the Belgians you were talking about, marching very smartly with their blue and red quartered shields after their incredibly well-dressed captain. Lord Wenlock, a very experienced soldier, has turned coat a number of times during this campaign. And a born survivor, says my Lord Wenlock.
Wenlock is 71 years old. He's lived through a lot. As Kat said, he's changed sides of these wars, and he's a veteran in every sense. He's going to be commanding the centre of the army, along with the Prince of Wales, and approaching on the right, the commander of the final division of the Lancastrian army, with his magnificent blue and white plumes and his wonderful moustache. That is the Duke of Somerset, Edmund Beaufort, who's shouting a pox on York and showing all his usual intemperance. This brave, gallant, reckless man is the reason why the Lancastrians came here in the first place. And the remainder of the Lancastrian army, Somerset's division, following on behind.
I can see some Thomas Stanleys, I can see some Ormonds, and a Stanley indeed. I was indeed once a Stanley, I sat on that fence. And a variety of retained soldiers from other households. You'll notice a number of different livery devices out there today. And Sir Fitzhenry's, it would appear. And as Ronald said just now, my Lord the Duke of Edmund Beaufort, Duke of Somerset, is an impetuous man. He is a man we sometimes talk up as being a little bit pantomime. I make a point of going into the Abbey and apologising when he's buried, in case we make him rather too farcical. However, he was well known for a hot temper and for rather acting before he thought. So keep an eye on my Lord the Duke of Somerset and his splendid moustache during this battle.
The archers, whose thunder has been stolen by the approach of the Lancastrian army, have been carrying on their duel at the back, and they're now separating because the army of York is starting to appear. And the very first to take the field behind the archers is going to be the right wing, led by Lord Hastings, a Midland nobleman, who is the exact equivalent to the Lancastrian Earl of Devon. In other words, he is a rock-solid, loyal, dependable, second in command, the ideal lieutenant to a leader, and somebody to be depended upon to take their part in the battle and keep it safe. His banner shows, translated from the French, a black sleeve on a white background, and they're about to launch into the field and start the positioning of Edward IV's army. Once Hastings move, they'll come on in quick succession.
Ready for march on it next.
I can see royal standards flying there as well.
Yeah, a lovely field of steel poppies swaying there in the breeze.
That's beautiful.
And on comes Hastings.
Sorry, kid.
You notice some of the mercenaries marching onto the field are wearing the yellow lena. It's like a kilt, but somewhat longer. Lena, or leinta in the plural, Irish meaning long shirt, and it's what the Irish Galloglass mercenaries wore. It's practical, it's comfortable, and when you die, they just sew up the end and bury you in it.
And now in the centre of the Yorkist line, King Edward IV, wearing a crown on his helmet, is leading the centre of the Yorkist division into place, with the royal bodyguard, including those beautiful saffron ladies. And he's also got a brother with him, a younger brother, called George, Duke of Clarence. Edward has two brothers. You're going to meet the second. Clarence, memorably described by Shakespeare as false. He's already betrayed his brother once and then been forgiven. But that's why Edward was keeping his little brother right by his side and not trusting him with any part of the battle. And the whole centre of the Yorkist army is now coming into place. With more of those mustard-hued Irishmen on the right-hand side.
I'm noticing a number of artillery pieces being brought into play now. Some of them quite loud. Now this is going to get noisy quite quickly. If you've got people with you who are maybe nervous, not too fond of loud noises, I would do this. I would cup your hands over their ears, get to open their mouths slightly when you hear the words "have a care." A, it looks funny, and B, it's physics and it actually stops the sound waves hurting your ears so much.
Yes, I've worked replica artillery myself for decades as a reenactor. And if you're within 5 feet of the full size and you don't open your